What's up, wild weirdos and maniacal misfits? Welcome to the episode 4, the conclusion of Extinction A.D's favorite metal album of the 90s tournament, presented once again by Thrashers, Slashers, and the Road To Wrestlemania. Thank you for joining us once again on the XAD YouTube channel, and strap in and strap on for what's bound to be a lot of fun, fighting, finagling, and feuding as we finally decide the championship of this 64 album tournament. We're broadcasting from my not-so-new home base, this shithole Stamford, Connecticut, as well as 4 other points of Long Island, New York. I am your host, Rick Jimenez, aging frontman of Extinction A.D, the creator-wrestler version of Scooby-Doo in the Stiff Shots podcast, Royal Rumble, and verbal abuse punching bag certified personal trainer from Ironhawk Training. Once more, I'm joined by the entire lineup of active and not-so-active members of Extinction A.D, high on sugar, high on weed, low on noise suppression during live performances of 13, track 3 on a new album, Culture of Violence, lead guitar player Ian Samaglia.
What's up? I'm sober and not as old as you guys.
Video editor supreme, riff writing machine, no longer the bass player but still part of the team, is Go Time You Asshole host Pieter Vandenberg.
That was great. I'm the second youngest.
Emerging from behind Jason's wall of foam and down the hatch to John Locke's home, with a smoking harmonica, he beat the mono syndrome, bass player Tom Wood.
I'm the 4th oldest, but I look 26.
Oh, years older than everyone else.
Last but not least, he's less human than beast. No meat or cheese is safe from a bearded feast. Drummer Scuzz.
Way less painful than I thought it was going to be, so that's okay.
All right, let's get things rolling right off the bat for the conclusion here. Put your can to the screen in celebration, bitches, because it's time.
Now's the fucking time!
Yo, Twisted Tea will never not be fucking hilarious.
I'm drinking a traditional 3 for the price of 2 sugar-free Red Bull. Oh my God. Tom, what are you doing?
You classy bitch.
I got a 24-ounce half and half Twisted Tea.
Yo, Pete, you've been double fisting much of this tournament. What do you got tonight? You are double fisting again?
Usual Schweppes Black Cherry Seltzer. And then for the finale, I had to bring back just another Frozen bombsicle track.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's tight.
Yeah.
Against the Machine fans out there.
The Charlie Sheen fans.
Rage against the Chasheen.
Scuzz, do you have that 24-ounce protein shake? Is that what that is?
I have a carnivore vanilla caramel with a banana and peanut butter protein shake. And when we get to the finals, I'll fuck around and get something stupid.
This is the finals.
We got to lead up to the finals.
The final.
The actual final.
The Big Bang.
The big honking motherfucker.
Ian, you said you're sober right now. What are you drinking?
Well, I'm going to not be sooner than later. I'm drinking a Great South Bay Blood Orange Blonde Ambition. See, they took 2 of their things and then they fucked them together.
Blonde Ambition. Good tour. Before we get into it, we've all been aware at this point of the passing of Trevor Strnad of the Black Dahlia murder. Just such an absolute bummer. He was someone that I personally never met but would bullshit with on Twitter about metal and heavy music overall, and he was also very much on the same page as us as far as social issues go. And we were to finally hang out together for a bunch of shows this August in Europe, and that's obviously our great loss to not be able to spend time with those guys, but especially him. So let's dedicate this episode to him, because he was just as much of a metal geek as all of us. So I'd like to think that he'd appreciate this show, even if he may disagree with some of our choices along the way. Scuzz, I think you were the biggest Black Dahlia fan of us all. Is there anything you want to say about the band or Trevor?
Just that the band was so consistent for so long, putting out really, really good records of a genre that they kind of carved out themselves as far as the way they did it. You know, all my love to Alan, known that man for quite some time since I started touring. And it was just a bummer because I think Trevor was like a really big champion of all things heavy and really did a lot for younger bands that were up and coming and just cared about the music quite a lot, and he was like a breath of fresh air for the scene, in my opinion. And it's a huge loss. It's a blow.
That last album they put out was rad too.
Yeah.
So last episode, we completed 16 matches throughout round 2. We had some upsets along the way and made some really difficult decisions. Okay, now we're standing in the killing fields and we're getting to the championship matchups of each of the 8 brackets that make up our round 3 of this fictional reality, starting with liquid metal before it was the radio and more of a part bionic and organic, not a cyborg, even though bionic and organic mixed together is exactly what a cyborg is. We enter the Terminator 2 bracket. An album that's essentially breezed through its prior opponents of Carcass, Heartwork, and Pantera, Cowboys from Hell, the reigning thrash metal album champion Megadeth, rest in peace, against the seemingly dark horse in the tournament that swiftly defeated Life of Agony, River Runs Red, and Fear Factory, Obsolete, Alice in Chains, Facelift. First vote, Tom Wood.
Yeah, Dark Horse, my dickhole. I mean, I do like that record, but I like Megadeth. I especially like when they cancel our show. I might vote for Facelift just because they canceled our tour.
I was actually going to bring that up and ask if anybody was going to hold it against Megadeth, the fact that they canceled because they were afraid of the rain at Welcome to Rockville. But Facelift, Alice in Chains, Megadeth, rest in peace. You're going with Megadeth?
Of course, yeah.
Ian, does Megadeth canceling change your vote at all?
No, because I vote for Megadeth.
I get third vote. Right now, dude, I'm in such an Alice in Chains zone. I feel like it's all I listen to lately. And I'm, first off, mad at Megadeth for canceling because of the rain. Ministry didn't cancel because of the rain.
Pretty sure Megadeth didn't even make it there.
They didn't even come.
Yeah, they decided not to come because it started raining. 2, listening to Megadeth anything but Rust in Peace on Spotify, they're losing points because it's so
you can't
stupid.
hold.
Yes, I can.
Rust in Peace is the worst one out of all of them on Spotify.
You can't hold them.
Wait, what do you mean on Spotify? What does that mean?
So
He doesn't even know.
They did like remaster, like remix shits like years ago, but there were a lot of parts that were like re-recorded or little things that were changed on like all the records for reasons. I think Rust in Peace, it was straight up they like lost like the physical tapes for certain parts, but with other ones they just like changed like little things for reasons.
And it sounds that bad. Okay.
But yeah, it does also sound bad in some instances.
So I'm a little unsure where I want to go here. I almost want to go against Rust in Peace just so I'm not deciding right away and I'm mad at it. But I guess I can. That's cheating. All right, I'm voting for Rust in Peace. Scuzz, where would you have gone on this?
I voted against Alice in Chains before, and I will not be doing it again.
Alan in Chains.
I love
Alan Chains.
Al in Chains.
Al in Chains.
I'm gonna go with Lift Pace and Chains of that because I don't like Dave Mustaine's face when he gave that kid a pick. So
Al Bundy in Chains.
Yo, I did like his face when he gave.
I did. He freaked me the fuck out. Like I feel like in a moment like that, you want to be warm and inviting. He's just like this.
He looked like a ghoul. I thought that was cool.
Weird.
Okay, so we have 2. Okay, so we have 3 for Rust in Peace, which means it moves on. Scuzz voted for Alan Ant Farm. Pete, where would you have gone with this?
I would vote for Rust in Peace. Easy peasy.
So Rust in Peace is moving on and is in fact the Terminator 2 champion.
Hasta la vista, baby.
We're searching for the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be of 90s metal, and he was all of that and more in the ring, and the 1993 king of the ring. We're about to crown the champion of the Bret the Hitman Hart bracket. A number 1 seed that has 2 unanimous victories so far over ultra heavy competition in Obituary, Cause of Death, and Machine Head Burn My Eyes. We have Vulgar Display of Power by Pantera taking on major underdog that narrowly defeated Sepultura Roots in a head scratcher and Typo Negative Bloody Kisses in a controversial one, Morbid Angel Covenant. Ian, you're a big supporter of Morbid Angel. Where are you going in this matchup?
Well, unfortunately, that support ends today because I'm voting for Pantera. Truth be told, there are few things that I would pick over that on this whole thing. So just by that virtue alone, it wasn't going to happen for me. And I feel like probably for like a lot of people, you guys in particular, just Vulgar Display of Power was just so instrumental and, monumental in like at least my formative years of like getting into metal and whatnot. And like to this day, it's, one of the most like, important and influential albums in metal. And, to a lesser extent, so is Covenant to extreme metal. But why are you shaking your head? Oh, because fucking Spooky Guy got left out.
Yep. Yep.
Spooky guy.
That's exactly
R.I.P.
why.
Pete Steele.
Yeah, dude.
We love you, but
All right,
I still vote Pantera.
I love you to death.
Well, Ian, your support ends for Morbid Angel, and I was not supporting them throughout this tournament, and I'm also pulling the plug now. I'm going for Vulgar Display of Power. Scuzz.
Pulling the pud.
I mean, I think the best thing that happened to Morbid Angel was the matchups. It's kind of probably the main reason why they made it this far. There's just no shot in hell.
What? They had the most.
I think. For me, motherfucker, we're talking about my opinion right now.
Yeah,
I don't give a
Roots.
fuck about your opinion.
Oh, okay, that's right. I forgot. I forgot when I forgot when somehow
I'm self-centered. So for my opinion on this topic, I care about what the fuck I think.
I forgot when somehow this shitty record beat out two of the best records on the whole fucking goddamn thing.
Yo, Tom, how's it feel? How's it feel being the saddest guy in here right now?
Let me
You have some
love you to this.
So Vulgar Display of Power is moving on with 3 votes. But Pete, where would you have gone on this?
As someone who voted for Morbid Angel twice, same with Ian. The buck hath stoppeth. It's vulgar display of motherfucking power, man.
Only Pete would say something like that. The buck hath stoppeth. Tom, do you want to make this unanimous, or do you want to change your mind and start voting for Morbid Angel?
No, the buck hath still stoppeth with me.
I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring.
I cannot believe the buck hasn't stoppeth 2 votes ago, but hey, man, Roots, I guess, is a bad record,
Fuck you, Ian. I don't even want to hear your retort to that. Vulgar Display of Power unanimously becomes the Bret the Hitman Hart champion. Her handful of minutes on WrestleMania 11 may have even dwarfed Bret Hart's. Her tools were put to better use than Tim Taylor's, and her raw justice was served better than Sid's at SummerSlam 91. We're deciding the title holder in the Pamela Anderson bracket. Another album that has 2 unanimous victories, one over Megadeth Euthanasia and a heartbreaker over Ozzy Osbourne No More Tears. We have Sepultura Chaos AD against an album that narrowly defeated the first Rage Against the Machine record and then Suffocation's Pierce From Within. Another dark horse in the whole tournament, Megadeth Hidden Treasures. So I get first vote here. Sepultura Chaos AD and Megadeth Hidden Treasures. This is a really, really hard one. I'm going with Sepultura Chaos AD. I like it better. Scuzz.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna, agree with that sentiment. I like it better. I think I voted Hidden Treasures just to fuck around the last couple times. But I listen to Chaos ID regularly. I don't listen to Hidden Treasures regularly at all.
Even though it has your favorite Megadeth song on it?
It does, but I mean, that's one Megadeth song that I like. The Chaos AD was one of the first heavy records that I really listened to. It's just such a way more important record than Hidden Treasures ever will be.
You know what? Obviously,
He's not wrong.
I have to agree with you. I just don't want anyone to say anything bad about that record. Me,
Yeah, I don't like that.
an unimportant record? You're right, Pete.
Hidden Treasures I like, but in my opinion, Megadeth shouldn't be getting more than 1 album into the next round. So I would definitely vote for Chaos AD. And I think ultimately I like the beef of Chaos AD more than I like even the cool stuff. I like Hidden Treasures, but
Any
so
song's
much
good.
more Beef Wellington.
Carnivorous.
Well, we're in the 3rd round, so these are all going to be really tough matchups. But, I mean, there really is no other answer aside from Chaos AD. Tom.
Man, this one is actually like a prime time cut for me, man. This is fucked up.
And you know what? I'm going to do all of these based off of me now as a 27-year-old man. And it's going to be Hidden Treasures.
Okay. You sick fuck.
Yo, you're.
No, dude, and I'm not. KSAD is still probably one of the game changers for me, but man, I put on Hidden Treasures at least once a week, and Chaos doesn't get it. It doesn't get me stiff as much as Hidden Treasures right now.
But in perpetuity, what gets you harder the longer?
I'm not doing perpetuity. I'm doing right now as a 27-year-old.
Okay.
You should have kept that treasure hidden.
Ian, finish us off.
Jesus. All right. Some of my favorite Megadeth songs are on Hidden Treasures, but I'm gonna have to go with an unhidden treasure. That's a good thing. Cut that out.
Nope. Crappy.
I'm voting Chaos AD. I mean, because I still have, call it a weird thing or whatever, but in my head still, there's a thing where like Hidden Treasures where it's like, it's not like a real album. It's not.
Call it a Psychotron.
Part bionic, but it's not a cyborg. I'd rather hear breakdowns than diadems. That being said, 99 Ways to Die is like one of my favorite Megadeth songs, but you're out of here, baby.
So Chaos AD is the Pamela Anderson champion. Honoring the good old days of $14.95 pay-per-views that we stole with a hotbox anyway in glorious Puerto Rican fashion, the last shred of innocence will now be crushed in the championship match of the In Your House bracket. Defeating two new metal favorites, although calling one of these a favorite is something some of you should be embarrassed by. Korn follow the leader, and Slipknot's self-titled album. The debut album by Down with Nola against another surprise Megadeth album, making it to the third round that defeated both Entombed Wolverine Blues and Dream Theater's Images and Words, 1997's Cryptic Writings. Scuzz, you're not much of a Megadeth fan. What do you say about this matchup?
Down completely. I mean, I don't really have much of an explanation for it. I'll listen to Down before Megadeth anytime. And again, my 99 Ways to Die isn't on that record, so I'm listening to Down.
Pete, do I even have to ask?
Oh, it's so easy. Down, baby.
It's so easy.
If that song was on NOLA, it would be the greatest album of all time.
It would be the most metal song on that album.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Okay, Tom, these are both albums you actually love.
Do it, Tom.
Down.
So Down is moving on with 3 votes, but Ian, what would you say? What would you say?
I'd rather smoke weed than get sober from speed, so Down.
Wow.
That was a haiku.
So I don't know if I want to make this unanimous because I like Cryptic Writings more, but I just listened to the Spotify version of Cryptic Writings for the first time ever, and I really, really understand why, Pete, when you first listened to it when we started this tournament, you were saying all this bull crap about it. I understand, because all that bull crap that they added to the new version of it makes that entire album from, oh, I didn't really get it when it first came out, now I love it, to, oh man, this album is a bunch of bull crap, but I'll still vote for it. But you know what? I'm happy it's gone because I'm so mad at that crappy new version.
I've never heard the Spotify version of that.
Dude, it's so dumb. They added all this like intro bullshit and weird talking.
Flaccid.
It is flaccid now, and I'm pissed.
If you guys had to give me like the worst Megadeth re-record on their Spotify right now, what would it be?
Countdown.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
All right. Real? Wow, that's like the most important
It's
one. I'm listening to
it's
that
so
song.
depressing. It's
Got one
depressing.
chance.
Yeah, it's bad.
Wow, okay. I gotta listen to that because I have no idea. That's fucking crazy.
Hey, Scuzz,
Yeah.
you feel weird. You feel all squiggly. You like to hawk loogies on people from astronomical heights, and despite none of them showing up anywhere on this show, you love white Fender Stratocasters. It doesn't look like Wayne's Basement, but it is the Wayne's World bracket. They destroyed Opeth, My Arms Your Hearse, and just squeaked by with a victory over Pantera, Great Southern Trendkill. We have Slayer, Seasons in the Abyss, going up with an album that decimated Crowbar Obedience and also won a nail-biter over Alice in Chains' self-titled album, Fear Factory's Demanufacturer. Pete, you get first vote.
While I am still upset that Seasons beat Great Southern Trendkill, Seasons is, in my humble opinion, the Slayer record.
I wonder if that would be the overall go-to from other bands of our age, or if they would kind of, as far as Slayer goes, or would everybody just go with Rain and Blood? I feel like it's so typical to say Rain and Blood, and it's an acceptable answer, but I feel like if we took a vote of it, it would probably be 4 of us picking Seasons, and then... Ian, would you pick Seasons also?
Nope. Rain and Blood.
Okay.
I think God Hates Us All would be...
I was going to say
God Hates Us All and Seasons would be a really tough choice for me.
I'd say there's a very good chance Scuzz would take God Hates Us All as his
I
favorite.
would as well.
But I mean, that album is fucking radical. That's probably my number 3 for Slayer.
Well, that's interesting. Tom,
Yeah.
Seasons of the Abyss, Slayer, Demanufacturer, Fear Factory.
Although I am definitely still holding a grudge against Seasons of the Abyss, there's no way I could vote for Fear Factory over Slayer. So I will vote for the Slayer record that shouldn't have been here in the first place.
You're fucking crazy. Ian, what do you say about this matchup?
Fucking eat it.
I'm going to go with a hard organic dick as opposed to a hard bionic dick. So my vote goes for Slayer, but it's not a cyborg.
Making a pants pyramid?
I was the tiebreaker last time, putting Fear Factory's Demanufacturer over Alice in Chains' self-titled album, but there's no chance I'm doing it this time. That album is super cool, man, and I've really, really come to appreciate that album more as time goes on. But Slayer, Seasons of the Abyss, also my favorite Slayer album, never ever lost an ounce of blood, despite what genre of music I gravitated more towards for a certain period of time.
Not even when God Hates Us All came out?
Well, I'm talking about when I started listening to more punk than metal, and then started listening to more hardcore than metal. Slayer, Seasons of the Abyss never went out of rotation with me. But I never liked God Hates Us All more than Seasons either. But I love God Hates Us All.
Cool.
Scuzz, what do you say with this matchup? You want to make it unanimous?
Yeah, let's make it unanimous, especially since I'm the one that pissed Tom off the most when I voted Seasons over Great Southern. I mean, he hated me before, but I really drove that the fuck home with that one. So.
That might have been the nail in the coffin.
I know. I mean, I feel like we were getting along pretty well before that. And, I don't know. I guess that was it.
Yo,
Yeah.
Did you guys see that Fear Factory is re-recording an album with that dork who played drums in Raven?
I was waiting for someone to bring that up.
What album?
They had a record that they put out with all MIDI drums, so they had this guy do live drums on it. I don't even think he's in the band anymore.
So that little nerd played drums for Raven when we toured with them, and he was such a conniving, backstabbing little baby. And I am keeping this in the podcast, and I will crush that guy physically, mentally, with my sheer will. And Seasons in the Abyss crushed Fear Factory's Demanufacturer and is the Wayne's World champion. A decade definer just as much as any album on the list. We always thought of giving our teachers the finger, but decided to do it because of this guy. And we also filled our bosses' Corvettes with concrete while wearing jorts for a laugh. We're about to crown an absolute monster champion of the Stone Cold Steve Austin bracket. 2 decisive victories with another decade-defining album. It defeated Corrosion of Conformity's Deliverance and an XAD favorite, Testament Low. The 6th grade fight-starting Metallica Black Album against an album that had 2 difficult battles against Sepultura Arise and then Skid Row's Slave to the Grind. The bodily mutilating Slayer Divine Intervention. Tom, you get first vote.
Jason's Wall of Foam is just like so important to my life. I can't even think about it. It's all kinds of shit. It's the Black Album. Do you think that like I staged this electrocution?
Maybe you shouldn't put your toes under his chair. Scuzz.
Man, I don't know. It's a toss-up. I wanna like I wanna. I mean, I want to say Divine Intervention just to be a contrarian, but I'm not gonna.
Say what you really believe.
I mean, then I'm gonna have to say the Black Album.
Really?
Yeah,
that is surprising.
Yeah. I mean, to be completely honest, like, say what you believe. Am I gonna do I listen to the Black Album more than I listen to Divine Intervention? Sure. Do I think Divine Intervention is like sicker and like would I want to champion Slayer more than Metallica? Probably. But
then that's your vote, right?
I don't.
I
think
feel like it's
better.
crazy that you are saying you would put on the Black Album before you would put on Divine Intervention. For you personally, I feel like that's crazy.
I'm just I'm
Slayer's the band, but it's not the record.
Yeah, my mind's bottled. Like my mind, my thoughts are all jumbled up in a bottle. My mind's bottled.
You're Christopher Walken all of a sudden.
Boggled?
No,
In my mind.
Pete, you got that joke?
Zoolander, right? It's my mind's in a bottle.
No, it's fucking Will Ferrell.
Hey, Rock,
they got
take
it.
it to the zoo.
I don't know. I genuinely I think I would have to pick the Black Album because of everything that's on it and what it's done for metal than Divine Intervention. I think Ian said it best. Slayer's the band, but that's not the record. Bad matchup.
I'm actually a little disappointed that's your vote, but that's fine. Ian, you get the next vote.
All I've ever done was disappoint you. It's okay.
Believe me, he's not the only one.
You've disappointed Rick a whole lot too, Ian.
All right.
He was going the other way.
I think Ian was going the other way.
I thought you were saying Scuzz has disappointed you a whole lot.
Oh, no, just lots of people. I'm playing, man. I'm playing. I'm sorry. It's Metallica. There's no way you could put my mom against the Black Album, and I'm going to vote for Metallica.
Dude, it's not even my turn. I'm not casting my vote, but dude, I feel exactly the same. But in all actuality, you could take some of these eliminated albums and I still make that decision. Metallica Black Album has 3 votes, so it's moving on. But Pete, where would you go?
This is not an answer that I'd have to sit and fiddle with at all.
Anyway,
I think Divine Intervention suffers from the way it sounds, and the Black Album is the exact fucking opposite. It is just everything you could ever want in the way a heavy metal record would sound. Plus, the songs rock the fucking house.
I wish people could see your face right now because you have such an expression of joy.
how content he is with saying that.
Hey, man, every single vote so far is gone my way, so I'm loving this right now.
You're walking like this right now. I'm so proud. Ooh, look at me. Ooh.
You're a perky little peacock.
Plus, the Black Album doesn't have 1 second of bad music on it, so Black Album.
Agreed.
So I get last vote. I am also going the Black Album, even though I just saw Metallica play possibly the worst live set they have ever played or that I've ever seen them. And guess what? They could play even worse than that, and I am still going to have so much fun regardless. That's how much I love the band, and they played a lot of songs off the Black Album. It's a bummer voting against Divine Intervention because I love that record so much. I gushed about it last episode, and I think it's so underrated, and it sounds like a knife fight and all the other crazy shit we said about it last week, which is really, really funny and cool. I want to find an original Divine Intervention t-shirt on eBay because my friend Nick Schering had one. I thought he was so cool because of it.
Is that the one with the carvings on the arm?
No, the one that essentially just has the cover on it. I always thought that was so cool. But, I mean, being that I've been at work, my new job, for just about a month, I finally got paid because that's the way work is supposed to go. You work for a month before you get paid. I'm still not spending that money on that t-shirt. So Metallica is the Stone Cold Steve Austin champion, which is very appropriate.
Hey, Rick and Ian, what was the funniest song that Metallica played? Real quick. Whiskey?
Oh, my God.
But it was my favorite part of the set. Oh, well, actually, no. Kirk tried playing Nothing Else Matters, fucked it up, and fell down on stage on purpose.
You were at that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was endearing. I thought it was hilarious and awesome.
It was. But still, it's like, you've been playing that song for how long now, guys?
Yeah, it would have been more endearing if he just played the song properly, being that he makes so much money and can't. And I can't play our songs, and I make no money.
Is that song not the easiest song in the set list?
Let me tell you what hand you don't need for the first chunk of it.
Lars actually sounded really good that night, which is funny.
Yeah, he was really on point.
But we were talking about the use of one hand. So speaking of that, ECW's answer to WWE's Pamela Anderson, mislabeled VHS tape star of the decade, and how can I get this fucking channel to play Not Scrambled, Queen of the 90s? We decide the finals of the Jenna Jameson bracket. Yo, everyone had a different thing. One of my best friends growing up used Who's the Boss. How did you guys label your VHS porn incorrectly when you were in the 90s?
I switched I put it in one of those old plastic locking Disney cases. So like, why would I have a VHS of like Beauty and the Beast hidden in my closet? 14-year-old me wasn't doing a great bit of planning here, but
You guys remember the movie Little Monsters?
yes, of
Yeah, of course. Fred Savage.
Yeah, that's what I used. And I would hide bags in like the woods in the plastic bags.
I got the stash right here, brother.
Is that the Little Mermaid, you sick fuck?
It's not, but
Sleeping Beauty. Better.
Your reading comprehension hasn't changed, obviously, but
Oh, you're so cute.
Making their fourth appearance tonight, another album mowing down their opponents of Biohazard, Urban Discipline, and Metallica Load. We have Megadeth, Countdown to Extinction, going one-on-one with another heavy hitter scraping its way through the tournament with victories over Tool's Undertow and Judas Priest's Painkiller, the trailblazing Symbolic by Death. Tom, you get first vote.
I actually really do like that Death record, but they had some pretty easy competition earlier. Countdown, for sure. Psychotron.
Ian, let's hear it.
I prefer my Death misspelt and of the mega variety, so I'm going to go with Countdown to Extinction. Nothing else to add.
Good enough.
Countdown's my favorite Megadeth record, so I mean, aside from like maybe one or two other things on this whole thing, it was gonna most likely beat out anything it goes against for me. So
Countdown to Extinction is my favorite Megadeth album right now, once again, also. And the only thing that I don't like... there actually is two things I don't like about Spotify's Countdown to Extinction. I hate the live intro of Sweating Bullets being added to the recorded version because it's stupid and unnecessary and pisses me off. The blues shredding guitar in High Speed Dirt is redone, and it is so crappy on this new version. It seriously made me almost fucking sick how crappy it is. It sounded like someone was like earning it by going to like songster.com. Really sounds like crap. And I say it every week because it keeps growing on me more and more. Symbolic by Death is such a cool album, and I'm so glad I finally get it. But I'm also going with Countdown to Extinction. I had the poster on my wall. I have a Countdown to Extinction t-shirt on in my 8th grade yearbook photo, of which I just got a copy of the other day. I have braces also. It's really cool. Scuzz, what do you pick?
I go Countdown for a million different reasons that don't need to be discussed. Just it's a more important record for a million different reasons that don't need to be discussed. I think it's pretty simple.
So let's not discuss it. Pete, you want to make it unanimous?
Well, I'm a Megadeth fan, and I really like Countdown to Extinction. But I'm also a Mega Death fan.
It's so obvious you have a child.
I'm voting for Death Symbolic.
Yeah, that was good.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
I like the cut of that jib.
Well, Death put up a good fight, but Countdown to Extinction is the Jenna Jameson champion. And that makes so much sense for myself in middle school and high school. The final contest of round 3, but just starting the excitement for the night. We're live, we're unpredictable, and we're giving away all the spoilers while hopped up on caffeine that isn't surged this time. Dial 1-800-COLLECT to enter the Monday Nitro bracket. Another album that has 2 unanimous victories, just annihilating Iron Maiden, Fear of the Dark, and Testament the Gathering. The bump into Dwayne-ass Reed in the hallways with an attitude album. Pantera, Far Beyond Driven. Locking up with another powerhouse in this tournament that only had 1 vote against it so far when Scuzz voted in a losing effort for Suicidal Tendencies, Lights, Camera, Revolution, and a unanimous vote against Korn's first album. Possibly the darkest album left on this list, Alice in Chains' Dirt.
Oh,
Ian, you have the first vote.
Fuck.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm born again, baby. With Snake's Eyes. Yeah, Far Beyond Driven, dude, because I feel like doing push-ups instead of doing drugs right now. So
That is a lie.
now that is
It is a
something
lie,
yeah,
but
I do
fuck
like.
you.
Lie.
I feel like a lion right now. So
So I get second vote, and check this out. So I've done a deep dive on almost all of these records in preparation because it took us a fucking month to get together and record this goddamn thing. I've already been on Alice in Chains' Kick, and I never want to listen to Dirt when it's nice out because I feel like it's either a nighttime record or just like a shitty rainy weather record. But I said, hey, you know what? I'm at work. Even if it's really nice out, I still kind of, just want to fucking kill myself. So I'll listen to Dirt. If I am going, not just right now, but also historically, of what album is actually more important to me and what album I love the most, can't wait to fight you over this, Tom. I'm voting for Dirt. And I'm also doing it because I know that it doesn't have a chance of winning versus Far Beyond Driven.
You're a piece of shit, dude. You're a fucking piece of shit.
So I just said I'm also comfortable doing that because I know that Far Beyond Driven needs to continue going further. And I know Dirt isn't going to win this. There's no chance. But, Dirt is...
What if you were the tiebreaker? You Dirtin'?
If I am going with which album I couldn't do without, knowing that there's other albums of a certain band, I could do without Far Beyond Driven if I know that Vulgar and Trendkill and Cowboys are there.
That's a good point.
I couldn't go without Dirt if it meant the only Alice in Chains I had was
Tripod.
Facelift, Tripod, or all the other ones. I will pick Dirt over any Pantera record if it was life and death decision. So yeah, I'm sticking to my guns with Dirt. So as controversial as that might be, let's see where it goes next because Scuzz has the next vote.
I think you made a supreme point that kind of just went in my brain and fucked my brain up.
That didn't take a lot.
Oh, come on.
I'm kidding.
I don't know. Man, because, I feel like that is the Alice in Chains record that you could listen to at all times. And I feel like I've listened to Far Beyond to death in my lifetime to the point where I could listen to Dirt anytime. But I don't know that that's a reason enough for me to vote against Far Beyond Driven for this tournament. Like, it's weird. It's a weird thought.
I think it's interesting the way you brought that up because the opposite is the reason why I went with Dirt, because Dirt is a very specific album for me where Pantera Far Beyond Driven for me might take a specific feeling that other albums do give me and ramp it up past 10. But there are other albums that I can get what I get out of Far Beyond Driven where there is not one other album in my life that I could get what I get out of Dirt. So just further justifying my position.
Yeah,
but I don't say that to influence you. So where do you go?
I think the last thought that I'm thinking about is like Far Beyond Driven, I'll listen to all the time and I'll fucking get psyched on it. Or if I'm angry, this, that, and the other. When I listen to Dirt, it's almost like refreshing. Like I need it when I want to listen to it. But Far Beyond Driven, I'll listen to all the fucking time. You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, totally. Is that your vote?
So I think, yeah, I'm going to go Far Beyond Driven because of that.
So we have 2 for Far Beyond Driven, 1 for Dirt. Pete, you get next vote, and you even thought the inclusion of Dirt was controversial, which I understand. And we also know your love for Pantera overall.
Yeah.
So what do you say?
This straight up might be the most difficult decision that I've had to make this entire. There have been some very difficult ones, like Abyss, Trendkill was fucking really hard. This is different, and everything that you said about Dirt, I completely agree with. I think it's perfect from the first second you put it on to the second it ends. I don't necessarily think that about Far Beyond Driven. I could do without Good Friends and Planet Caravan.
Oh.
Yeah, nah.
Nothing on Dirt revs my engine the way the intro to Slaughtered. I'm not a big guy. I feel like I could bench press the fucking world when that song comes on.
And dude, how sick is it when music, and this is such a corny thing to say, but how sick is it when music actually makes you feel that way?
It's not a feeling. It's the truth. You could do that.
Yeah. I absolutely adore Dirt, but the only way I can separate these two is going to be on the hardline definition of metal. And if that's the case, it has to be Far Beyond Driven, which may be straight up the greatest metal album of all time.
So that's 3 for Far Beyond Driven, so it's moving on. But let's hear from you anyway, Tom, because I know you got shit to say.
Oh, yeah, I got shit to say. Pete, I appreciate you voting for that, but I don't like the slander you just put. Like, it was a little, like, sideways.
Oh, that I said I could do without Good Friends and Planet Caravan?
Well, that, but you also said, like, so yeah, basically, like, 80% of that was just, like, a little bit, like, wishy-washy. Don't do that.
We still got 3 more rounds, baby. Don't you?
Rick, I let you tattoo stuff on me and all this cool stuff. Like, yo, keep it cool, man. Like, next vote, dude. Like, okay, Dirt is in my top 5 records of all time. Like Pete said, I also adore that record. I think it's start to finish the hardest dick. Having said that, if somebody told me, hey man, guess what? You can never hear Strength Beyond Strength again, my life would change. Bad things would happen. It would not be the same. I would get, actually, it would change. I would become depressed. I need that song. I need that record. That record is the best record that God has ever made. The amount of alcohol, drugs, fighting, fucking, yes. Far Beyond Driven, till I die.
So Far Beyond Driven is the Monday Nitro champion. The quarterfinals are completed. We have 8 bracket champions, and we are on deck to make even harder and harder decisions from this point on. But before we get to the rest of the matches, we're all varying ages, so our experiences are definitely different. Where was everyone's go-to spot to hang out in the 90s? Where were you listening to these albums?
It was behind the sporting goods store in Greenport, smashing bottles and smoking all kinds of things.
Pete, were you hanging out in the woods of Connecticut?
Yeah, I was about to say, I grew up in a very rural area, so mostly my bedroom.
Scuzz, you were around in the 90s.
I was around a little bit. It was usually Scarita's basement or Sports Plus.
That's sick.
I spoke about it before on the show, but my friend's older brother built a legit house in the middle of the woods between Smithtown and Nesconset, and we called it Mosherville. And we would go in the woods, and they would smoke weed and drink beer. One time, Lee Roth sat on the roof and took a shit off the roof onto the floor or the ground. Funny that his name was Lee Roth. Like, that's legit. One time, we put on music, and we just said in the middle of the woods, like, yo, let's just mosh. So we just started, like, fucking moshing and shit. And I saw my friend Don Richards wasn't paying attention. So I was like, yo, I'm going to run full steam into him from behind and blast him. And he turned around last second, and I ran into him. And then I was just, boom, on the ground. It was like a brick wall.
He leveled you?
He just stood there. I ran into him, and I got smashed. Ian, when you were a teenager, where'd you hang out and listen to records and just get wild with friends?
Probably my friend Eric's basement, dude who played drums in my high school band that didn't do anything, or just, by myself with my fucking CD Walkman.
Okay, let's get back to it. We're in the quarterfinals. The Terminator 2 champion, Megadeth, Rust in Peace, squaring off with the Bret the Hitman Hart champion, Pantera, Vulgar Display of Power. I get first vote here. Up until the past year, it had been back and forth between Rust in Peace and Countdown to Extinction being my favorite Megadeth album. I finally switched back to Countdown to Extinction being my favorite. And guess what? Not only they're canceling because of the rain and pissing me off because they was the last of the big four that I was ever going to get to play with and still haven't. And then also listening to that abomination that wasn't even united of Rust in Peace on Spotify. Guess what? I'm voting for Vulgar Display of Power.
You nailed every joke I wanted you to nail on that. You nailed everyone.
Scuzz, you get next vote.
It's easy for me. It'll be Pantera over Megadeth every day.
Vulgar Display of Power has 2 over the reigning thrash metal Extinction A.D. champion, Rust in Peace. Pete, you get this third vote, and this might be the one that shocks the world or shocks the monkey.
This is, wow. This one sucks. Maybe more than the last one sucked. Fuck, man. God.
Before you make your decision, does the re-recorded version on Spotify influence you at all? Because it just influenced me so much.
I mean, it's so bad.
God,
It's just so bad. Like we said for Cryptic Writings is so flaccid sounding with the new stuff.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but worse with Rust in Peace. I have a good version on my iTunes that I listen to instead of it. Man, Vulgar Display of Power.
So Vulgar Display of Power has knocked off the reigning thrash metal champion album of Extinction A.D. with just 3 votes. We got 2 more to go. Tom.
Hell yeah, Vulgar Display of Power, dude. Forget about Dave and the boys canceling our Big 4 show.
So Bret Hart is killing Terminator 2 right now. Ian, are we making this unanimous?
Vulgar Display of Power.
Wow, unanimous. Megadeth, Rust in Peace is gone. Hey, you know what? Maybe don't mess with shit next time. Yo, they wanted to re-release it and remaster it. Guess what? You have a compact disc. Remaster that. You don't need the tapes to do a remaster.
First of all, don't mess with the recordings, and then don't mess with our live shows.
Pantera wins. Don't mess with Texas. The next battle of bracket champions, it's not Tommy Lee and it's not Bret Michaels. The Pamela Anderson champion, Sepultura Chaos AD, going one-on-one with the equated compact disc price to pay-per-view price, in your house champion, Down Nola. Scuzz, you get first vote.
God damn it. I don't want the first vote for this one.
This is a tough one for this band, I feel like.
Throwing up?
Scuzz, don't puke.
Honestly, I think... how far apart are these records? Does anybody have it up on your computer?
Year-wise, it's just like a year or 2?
1
Yeah,
year.
1 year. 1 year.
1 year.
Nola's 95.
Yeah.
All right.
2 years.
That being said,
3
I
years.
think I'm going to go NOLA because I think when that came out, I went nuts and went all things like sludgy southern fucking riff rock type shit. And I think that has sustained my interest up until today way more than something like Chaos AD. Given what I said last round about Chaos AD still reigns true. But I didn't realize that they were so close together, which is why I asked. And because they are, I think without a doubt, NOLA has had more of an impact on me. So for those reasons, I pick NOLA.
Pete, you have second vote.
It's very rare, in my opinion, that supergroups ever work out.
Democracy?
One of the exceptions.
Savage animal.
Who?
Man, if ever something was going to get edited.
I think. Yeah, that's funny.
American Ice Age.
American Ice Age.
American Ice Age is a fucking supergroup.
American Ice Age is the best band that never happened.
It happened.
All right, so it's not often that supergroups work out. And I think Down is the exception to the rule there. And NOLA has just a magic about it that really resonates with me. I am a late adopter to Sepultura. So for me, the album that I've liked longer, still like more, and was my number one metal album of the 90s on its go time, Down NOLA.
So we have 2 for Down NOLA. We have 3 votes, so Sepultura still has a chance, but it's so close. And Sepultura KSAD is such an important album for this band specifically. Tom, you get the next vote.
Oh, man.
I think, Tom, you're the deciding vote, man. If I had to guess.
Yeah, I know. Fuck, man. I don't want to do this because both of those both albums have that like magic to me, like where it's like, man, this is it. Like, this is the album, you know? Like, I like other albums by both bands, but these are definitely the ones.
Don't do it.
I would never, dude. You know I wouldn't do that. I gotta get dinner every night. Every day I gotta get dinner, and I gotta go with the boys.
You got to be getting dinner in New Orleans, though.
Nah, I don't eat that Creole shit.
I can't believe you're going to let Rick tell you what to do after how he voted against Far Beyond Driven.
You know what? That's a good point, man.
Yeah, man.
That is a good point. You telling me don't do it. I'm telling you don't do it. But I'm still going with Chaos A.D. because I broke so many bottles.
You want to get that dinner, and you don't want to get it in New Orleans, and I definitely don't ever want to get dinner with Ian in New Orleans ever again. So, Ian, help me out here.
Well, did you know that life teaches you that you're always alone?
It's the only thing I've ever learned.
Yeah, my vote's for Chaos A.D.
Oh, boy, oh, boy. Oh, boy, wow. So we're tied. 2 for NOLA, Down. 2 for KSAD, Sepultura. This is a no-brainer to me, which is great because I have no fucking brain. Chaos AD just squeaks by with my vote. Dude, I know that NOLA is really important to, I think, all 4 of you guys. Not important to me at all. I'm sorry. Down never really did it for me, even when I try. It's cool. It just doesn't feed me any awesome dinner.
I don't like that about you.
I'm sorry, but, you know, I'm not sorry.
Hey, did you guys ever wear combat boots with shorts?
No.
Never
I
worn
did.
combat boots.
That's why I voted for Chaos A.D.
I wore Timberlands with shorts, but they weren't even real Timberlands. They were like cat.
Caterpillars.
Just like work boots. Okay, continuing the quarterfinals, an American Gladiator level joust, an Atmosphere or Gauntlet, the champion of the Wayne's World bracket, Seasons of the Abyss by Slayer, swing-shotting into the Stone Cold Steve Austin champion, Metallica, the Black Album. Who will break through and conquer? Pete.
Wow.
What a matchup, right?
Oh, boy.
You know what's interesting about this matchup? As far as I'm concerned, when I think of eras in metal, Seasons in the Abyss was kind of like the last of the important pre-Black Album metal albums. I don't know if I'm chronologically actually dead on with that, but that's just kind of how I view it. And then Metallica did the Black Album, and everything changed in metal after that, aside from Slayer.
I think you could even say that Seasons is Slayer's Black Album in terms of slowing a bit down, adding a bit more melody. Certainly the title track, choruses, that's written like a pop song.
I don't disagree with that at all, even though it predates it, but still, the point's valid.
I think these are 2 very comparable albums within the band's discographies. This is very, very, very difficult, especially because I think the themes on Seasons are still very applicable, war-related stuff and things like that. Oh, my God.
Yo, we haven't spoke about Slayer's lyrics aside from clowning on some of the shit on Divine Intervention, but I agree.
Yeah.
I think Seasons is possibly their best lyrical album.
There's a lot of things on Seasons that are Slayer at their best. I think, like you said, lyrics are excellent. Ian mentioned this a couple episodes back. Jeff Hanneman's best album as a lead player.
Heyman.
King as well.
But also maybe Tom Araya's best vocal performance as well.
I don't agree on that.
Hey, that's fine, man.
You had me, then you lost me.
That's fine. I'm going to go with Seasons in the Abyss. And it is very difficult to say so, but it is my favorite Slayer and not my favorite Metallica, even though I really, 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 really love the Black Album. But there you go.
I like that vote, and I like your reasoning. And because I know you so well, I know that's a difficult decision, but I fully understand that. I think that's a very genuine Pete vote. I know where this next one's going too. Tom.
Oh, do you? Do you? I got you all messed up, dude, because I'm voting weird now because you fucked with me. I'm just kidding, dude. I'm just going to vote for the Black Album again. Cool, right?
That is cool. Ian, I think you're cool, and you also have the next vote.
Yeah, it's Metallica, baby.
Yeah.
Every vote had babies so far.
Yeah, I love it.
Dude, Ian, you have a baby fever. You better not be telling
That's
us
cool,
something.
baby.
No, I don't want yet at least.
No, don't do it at all, dude.
No, do it, dude. It's cool.
No,
Do it,
dude. Don't.
Yo, fuck you.
Do it.
So I had the next vote. I almost wish that Scuzz had the vote next, and I could have been a bit of a possible tiebreaker. But I'm not going to deviate from the order. I could go on and on about both of these albums. I'll just quickly say that, once again, Seasons is my favorite Slayer album. I think it's kind of them at their peak, even though I think they rode a peak for many, many years. Don't have one negative thing to say. Dude, that's a hard thing about going this far in the competition with any of these albums. You almost want to say something negative about the album that you're not voting for.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to justify why you're voting for a different album over it. But I can't say one single thing negative about Seasons in the Abyss, but that just goes to say how highly I think and how important Metallica's Black Album is, because we spoke about it. It's more than just the album and the time it came out and what it meant for metal in general, but then also for us personally, because I was just about to turn 11, so it's like a formative year. But also the documentary that came out with it was so important, and then live shit that came out with it was also so important. So I am going the Black Album, which means the Black Album moves on regardless. But Scuzz, you surprised the fuck out of me last round. So, are you once again voting for the Black Album over a Slayer album?
No, it's not going to be. It's not going to be the Black Album this time. The matchup, again, if we're speaking strictly on what you listen to, what you feel more, I'd rather listen to Seasons of the Abyss. Obviously, not taking away any of the impact either record has had on the genre, but Seasons of the Abyss will always take over before the Black Album for me for something that I want to listen to.
Representing the 90s queen of porno, the Jenna Jameson champion, Megadeth, Countdown to Extinction, live creaming against the Monday Nitro champion, Pantera, Far Beyond Driven. First vote, the Far Beyond Driven champion, Tom Wood.
Yeah, you already know what the fuck is up, dude. Strength beyond strength, dude. I'm never going to die. I'm going to live forever.
Everyone's flexing. Ian, Countdown to Extinction, Far Beyond Driven.
Countdown to Extinction. Where do we go from here?
I love that song.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Not as good as Strength Beyond Strength.
It's a better song.
Oh, God.
I don't know about that.
Nah, B.
I don't know.
I mean, all right. You guys can be wrong.
Yo, I have
out.
next vote here, and I honestly have no idea where I want to go with this. This is my favorite Pantera record. This is my favorite Megadeth record.
Dude, I'll fucking walk out of this show. I'll walk out of this band.
You'll do what now?
I'll walk.
Not on it.
I've been waiting for the first not on it.
I almost want to make this vote knowing the way the rest of the votes are going to go, but I don't think I could even do that. And this is something where it would have been different several years ago, but I'm going right this second what I'm going to put on in almost any situation first. Not every, but almost every situation. And I also am going with Far Beyond Driven.
Yes.
And Tom, I almost wanted to vote opposite just to piss you off.
Yeah, and you know what? You would have.
You should have.
I could have.
Lose.
Scuzz, Countdown to Extinction, Far Beyond Driven.
Far Beyond Driven, move it along.
Far Beyond Driven is moving on to the semifinals. But let's hear it anyway. Pete.
Far Beyond Driven.
So that puts the nail in the coffin that Megadeth has officially been eliminated from the entire tournament, even though at one point they had 4 or 5 albums. And I'm happy about their inclusion, and I'm really glad that Countdown went as far as it did. I'm not even really surprised that Rust got eliminated, but Countdown's done. And you know what? I bet Countdown would have went further, or any Megadeth album would have went further, if they would have fucking shown up and played the goddamn Welcome to Rockville Fest the other day.
Exactly, because then we would have played with all of the guys.
The tough battles are getting harder and harder, and we're on to the semifinals. The king of both the Terminator 2 and Bret the Hitman Hart brackets, Pantera, Vulgar Display of Power, finishing the entire top half of the tournament against the metal monarch of the Pamela Anderson and In Your House brackets, Sepultura, Chaos AD. What a fucking battle this is. Ian, you get first vote.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Pantera.
It's that easy for you, huh?
It's that easy. So easy, I'm not even going to explain anymore.
Wow.
I have the next vote, and once again, I have no fucking idea how to choose between these two. I got both these albums around the same time-ish. These were both soundtracks to my bus ride to school, and then walking through the hallways and bumping into Dwayne Ass Reed. We haven't covered a Pantera song yet, and we did do Propaganda.
That doesn't...
Well, we're going to do a whole Pantera set eventually.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? What are you going to dress up as on Halloween? And if you don't answer this properly, the way you answer this is how I'm voting.
Oh, no, Ian, don't fuck it up, dude.
Ace Frehley?
Oh, God.
That's sick.
That's a bit of a non-answer.
Not on it.
Wasn't that the thing we agreed to dress up? Was it Kiss, or what was the band that we said, or you said?
It wasn't a band.
No, we're dressing up like Rocky.
No, that wasn't it.
But characters from Rocky, not even Rocky.
Oh,
It wasn't even Rocky. It was something else.
No, it was Rocky, and you
It was
were
Rocky?
Paulie.
Yeah, you were Paulie.
No?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, well, either way, I'm not fucking doing that dumb shit.
Okay.
Fuck it.
Yeah, you are.
And
Okay.
I'm not learning Dimebag solos. I'm not doing it. I'll quit.
Okay, guys, I'm voting for Sepultura Chaos AD.
Wow, you suck.
It was your fucking verbal garbage right now that influenced my vote.
Well-
If you would agree to dress up with us for the Halloween set, I would have voted for Pantera because we're planning on doing a Pantera Halloween set. But being that you are arguing about dressing up and having a good time with your friends for Halloween, dude, I'm dressing up like Adrian Balboa.
You guys want to know something
I'm
cool?
dressing up like Mickey.
I've never seen Rocky.
Okay, Scuzz, you get the next vote.
Wait, what was my character? Did I have one?
Clubber Lang.
That could be problematic.
Wait, no, he was Paulie, wasn't he?
No.
Ian was
Paulie. Scuzz is Clubber Lang.
Okay.
Shit.
Which
Okay.
includes the haircut.
Oh,
And he has
man, not okay. Not cool at
or like
all.
sides.
That means I have to shave the sides of my head.
And the top.
No, he has the top. He leaves the top.
It's
He
a
has the
mohawk.
top strip.
It's a mohawk.
It is a mohawk.
Yeah, you also have to cut your beard to look like Mr. T.
That's not fair. This isn't fair.
Sorry, it's what you got.
It's not fair.
Sorry, it's what.
I got Mickey.
I'll do.
There you go.
Look at his short beard. For the people at home, I am showing off my original Clubber Lang figure from the Rocky 3 movie. No re-release. 1983. Scuzz, what's your vote?
It's Pantera. It's always Pantera. It's going to be
Not always.
You're right, not always. I mean, again, the matchups are not going to be remotely close to being easy or make any sense. But I mean, I'm a bit of fucking freak for Pantera since I got into them, so I'll take them over anything.
That's cool. You are a freak. You are a Pantera freak. Vulgar Display of Power, I think, is actually my favorite Pantera record, but maybe it's not. I always go back and forth. Either way, I only voted for KSAD because Ian doesn't want to dress like Paulie. Pete, there are 2 vulgar display of power votes, 1 KSAD vote. Where are you going on this one? Ian, stop texting and hang out with us.
I am multitasking.
Multitasking.
And I'm mad at you.
Yeah.
I'm mad at you for not dressing like Paulie. What about me? I already got a watch. Give me a watch.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Can I have a job? If I could unzip myself and be someone, I want to be you. Yo, I watched Rocky 4.
They got no class, Rock.
I watched the new version of Rocky 4. It sucks. Don't watch
What's the
it.
new version?
There's a re-edited version. It's like the director's cut from Sylvester Stallone. It sucks. The entire movie's changed. Okay, off topic.
Wow.
Pete, go for it. Go for it.
Vulgar display of power.
Dude, Vulgar Display of Power is such a Rocky record. There's boxing on the cover. Ian, just dress up like Paulie for one night, please.
All you have to do is wear a fucking coat.
He went
that's
back
what
to
we're-
texting.
You wear a coat and a hat, and you talk slightly dumber than you already do.
This motherfucker.
Yeah, that's it.
This
dude.
guy?
Come on.
Ian, if you say you'll dress like him, I'll continue to dress like Adrian, and I'll also change my vote.
I'll wear a fucking hat.
Oh, you're the best. I'm changing my vote to Vulgar Display of Power.
There we go.
Good.
All right, Tom, are we going to make this unanimous?
Yes, motherfucker.
So Vulgar Display of Power in the semifinals has a unanimous decision, and they are going to the finals. Man, so here's some crazy shit. The semifinals conclude here to decide who will go on to the final championship match. SWAT Sultans of the Wayne's World and Stone Cold Steve Austin brackets, Metallica the Black Album in an epic battle, the slithering Shahs of the Jenna Jameson and Monday Nitro brackets, Pantera Far Beyond Driven. This is what I thought the finals was going to be, but the way it works out, this is the semifinals. I have the first vote.
Yo, before you vote,
Yeah.
I'm looking around the room right now. This could go either way.
Dude,
This is wild.
if you can see behind me, I have plenty of toys on shelves from IKEA in my office, and they are all of one band and not the other. I'm voting for Metallica, the Black Album.
Oh, man.
And that's heartbreaking, man. Far Beyond Driven. Dude, voting against that twice in this tournament breaks my fucking heart. But who gives a shit? I'm ready for it.
You
to
don't
end
even have
anyway.
one of those.
Yeah, never did. Scuzz, you get next vote.
The hardest part of the run that we just did was watching an hour and 10 minutes of some kind of monster. Because they are the softest fucking dudes on planet Earth in rock and roll. And Phil would crush any of them with his fucking dick.
Not with his bank account.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. It's without a doubt fucking Pantera. I mean, like I said, Black Album's cool, but the gusto that comes with everything that Pantera does is just so much fucking cooler, so much more metal than the Black Album. But then again, nah, fuck that. Pantera. It's fucking Pantera.
Dude, what a fucking difficult matchup this is. This
Yeah.
is crazy. So the next vote goes to Pete.
These are the 2 albums that should probably win this.
Dude, this is like a fucking main event in any situation ever, and it's crazy that it's not the finals.
Yeah, you said it's around too early. It's very sort of different stylistically. You know, you have Metallica, less technical, more structured perhaps, a bit more expansive sonically in the use of different sort of things, where you have Pantera. Phil says it, and there may be no better encapsulation of the band than when Phil comes in over the heavy riff and Strength Beyond Strength, and he says, grown into a monster, an arrogant, explosive motherfucker. It's like with those lyrics over that riff, with those drums, that is like Pantera at its most refined. I'm going with Far Beyond Driven.
So it's tight right now. 2 for Far Beyond Driven, 1 for the Black Album. Tom Wood, you could give a lifeline, or you could put Pantera against themselves in the finals.
Ian,
Fuck you, man. Just fuck you, dude.
hi.
I know you're gonna fucking do it. Just fucking do it already.
Hi.
Just fucking. I'm like Rorschach at the end of Watchmen right now. Just fucking do it.
Yo, so you know what's crazy? This is Mike Tyson
versus Mike Tyson. This is like Rambo versus Rambo.
This is like Scuzz dressed like Clubber Lang against
Versus-
Ian dressed like Paulie.
Yes. Like while everyone else is talking and saying like good things about Far Beyond Driven, like I actually like I am also pondering, but I'm also getting like emotional about it. Like I love the Black Album, but I don't think the Black Album pushed anything to any extremes besides Sonic's. I think that
God, I feel like you're a fucking crazy person with that sentence.
what did they like really like they really sharpened their edge as this like juggernaut of a metal band, but they didn't change anything.
Dude, they changed the entire landscape of heavy music.
By getting more simple?
Yes.
Yes.
By becoming the biggest band in the fucking world
Yeah, but that's not the same thing. That's only by
and paving the way for a band like Pantera
that's by
to reach the
taste.
success they ever did.
Tom, by writing, recording, doing the video, and releasing the single Enter Sandman, as far as music goes, that changed music. Not just metal, but that changed music overall, where at that point, bands with guitars, aside from kind of like hair metal and anything flaccid before that, like Rick Springfield or something, now had a platform to do stuff forever. I mean, is there a grunge explosion in the mainstream without Enter Sandman doing what it did? Now, when it really comes down to it, we're saying Enter Sandman August 91, and then Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit November, December 91. But dude, an important 6 months or 4 months, however you like to do math.
I agree. And I'm not trying like I said, I don't want to say anything bad about the Black Album because it is my second favorite record of all time. But I think that they caught the right wave at the right time with the right sound, the right tempos, and that was just what people wanted to hear. I think that Far Beyond Driven pushed something that was already so extreme to the next level, and it makes me very hard.
So are you solidifying that you're voting for Far Beyond Driven right now?
Absolutely.
You're putting Far Beyond Driven into the finals against Vulgar Display of Power in lieu of the Black Album getting a lifeline.
Yes.
Jesus fucking Christ. Ian, we'll talk about Far Beyond Driven next round. So let's hear what you got to say about the Black Album. That was going to be your vote, right?
Oh yeah, of course it was. Well, for one thing, it's perfect.
So is Far Beyond Driven.
It's a precious little child. Well, no, because that has Good Friends and a Bottle of Pills on it and a fucking cover song, so fuck you.
Yo, those two songs never bothered me on that record.
And they don't really bother me either. I actually really like the Planet Caravan cover.
It's great. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
You're insecure though.
I'm sad now.
Saying weird shit.
Yeah, good is weird. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Metallica, but it doesn't matter anymore. Nothing matters. Nothing else matters.
So Far Beyond Driven has edged out Metallica, the Black Album, and makes it to the finals. So maybe we should all lay down, take this defeat with some grace, the way Kirk Hammett did the other night in Boston.
It's because we were so awesome.
Awesome dinner. Okay, the finals have been solidified, and we're going to be in for a knockdown, drag-out bloodbath to crown the grand champion and undisputed Extinction A.D. favorite metal album of the 90s. Before we get to the fight, out of any album from the 90s that didn't make it onto this list for either the genre or just not getting enough votes, what would you recommend anyone listening to this to check out? Because there were a lot of albums that were too hardcore or too alt-rock or just not exactly heavy at all that still got a lot of love from us, either in the van or just personally.
I think COC. Jimmy's Chicken Shack.
Are they a 90s band?
I mean, I listened to them when I was in middle school, so I have to assume.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Wisconsin Death Trip. Fucking Static X.
I'm mad that so many mean things were said about Dream Theater.
I am not sorry at all.
You jerks.
Well, then I would say Ugly Kid Joe.
I'm mad Ugly Kid Joe didn't make it to the tournament.
I'm wearing the band shirt, so I'm going to go with a Creator record. They put out a record in '95 called Cause for Conflict that is so fucking sick, and I think so overlooked. I think it kind of follows the trend of like a lot of thrash bands going a bit more groove and maybe hardcore influenced in the 90s, and that record is so fucking sick, and like really not one that like gets talked about a lot. And it wasn't until more recently that I decided, let me go dig into some of the 90s Creator stuff. I discovered that one. I was like, yo, what the fuck? This is so sick. Super aggro, super heavy, really fucking badass. I think just like due to the time when it came out, probably just, kind of flew under the radar. But yeah, check out Cause for Conflict by Creator. It's a good one.
A band that no matter what is definitely a hardcore band, even though they got some shit here and there for being too metal throughout the 90s. I think Humanity is the Devil by Integrity is one of those perfect transition albums for a metalhead to discover hardcore or a hardcore fan to discover metal. I actually just did guest vocals and a guitar solo for our friend's band, Tim Fletcher, World on Fire from Buffalo, on a cover of Hollow from that EP. So that's cool. But along the same lines, I really think people should check out Beat the Bastards by The Exploited. The Exploited are so known for being the Liberty Spike Mohawk punk band from the UK, but in the 90s, they went so crossover that it's, again, a perfect gateway album for punks to get into metal and vice versa. So that shit is so goddamn cool to me.
When you play that in the van, I always like, who the fuck is this? I'm like, God damn it, I always forget to listen to this band.
It's so cool.
It's so sick.
The only thing that it suffers from is it's a lot of repetition on songs that are a little too long. So if you could get past that, man, it's fucking rad as hell. Okay, so we're finally here after 4 episodes. We started with 64 albums, and we are down to just 2 to crown the grand champion, the Yokozuna, the Overlord, the undisputed favorite metal album of the 90s, according to Extinction A.D. 2 albums that beat out 5 others so far. The deciding match, who goes home with the belt and who just goes home. Pantera, Vulgar Display of Power versus Pantera, Far Beyond Driven. First vote, Pieter Vandenberg.
Wow.
What a fucker.
Jesus Christ. I think the way that I would have to vote is I think the A side of both albums is pretty damn comparable. Like it is just wall to wall Pantera bangers that you would hear at like a fucking sporting event, like the jams.
Jock jams.
The jock
jams.
I think where I would have to make the comparison is on the B-sides. And I've been on record before saying I think the B-side of Far Beyond Driven is quite possibly better than the A-side. So my soul for a fucking goat, Far Beyond Driven.
Goddamn, I have the next vote. And dude, Far Beyond Driven has been my favorite Pantera record for so long. And then just recently I said, you know what? I think Vulgar's my favorite. Now when I'm faced with this decision, I'm just thinking of like the fucking power of side A of Far Beyond Driven. But Pete, I am almost the opposite of you. Not that I think side B of Vulgar is better than side A, but I think Vulgar's side B is stronger to me than Far Beyond Driven's side B.
It is.
And I got both of these on cassette, so side A and side B was really important. You know what? Gun to my head right now, I'm going to go with Vulgar over Far Beyond Driven. And it's solely because I am so mad at Tom right now, and I want to make him upset.
Why?
I don't know, man, because you keep making
Why are
these
you
faces.
mad at me?
I'm not mad at you. I'm projecting. I'm mad at myself. But you know what? I think the cover of Vulgar is better than the cover of Far Beyond Driven.
Oh, really? Even the original cover?
Yes.
Of which I have a t-shirt for?
I think the title, Vulgar Display of Power, is cooler than the title, Far Beyond Driven.
I don't disagree with that.
Oh, I disagree.
But Slaughtered is heavier than anything on the B-side of Vulgar.
Everything is heavier.
Far Beyond Driven, to me, is undisputably heavier than Vulgar Display of Power.
Hey, heavier doesn't always mean better, though.
I didn't say that, but
All right.
Pantera does it. It's special.
Ian, you have the next vote.
It's going to be Vulgar Display of Power.
Let's hear your justification.
You know, as a youngin', I always gravitated to that record more. It took me a while to really appreciate Far Beyond Driven nearly as much as you guys, and now I fucking love it, and it's up there. There's even like days where I'm like, shit, I think I might like Far Beyond Driven better. It depends on my mood, but overall, as a full, start to finish record, one of the things I love about Vulgar is that it does have more subdued moments. You have your This Loves, you have your Hollow, and all that stuff. I like that aspect of Pantera, and I'm kind of sad that kind of goes away after that record. Not that it completely goes away, but it's different. It's different.
It goes away to the extent on Far Beyond Driven. It comes back on Great Southern Trendkill.
But it's not the same still, and it's not
the same.
It's not the same.
Way darker on Trendkill.
Yeah.
Ian, which guitar tone do you like better, Vulgar's or Far Beyond Driven's?
It's not like they're that different, really. I mean, Dime sounds like Dime. I'm probably going to have to go with Far Beyond Driven for that one.
See, I'm with you also.
Yeah. But I mean, the production in general. I mean, dude, the kick drum on Far Beyond Driven. Jesus Christ, man.
Scuzz, do you like that kick?
It's all right.
Scuzz, do you like the kick better on Far Beyond Driven, Vulgar Display of Power, or any Aerosmith record from the 90s?
I mean, fucking Eat the Rich is one of the heaviest guys.
Dude, I was gonna say Eat the Rich.
That song really gets me fucking going.
Me too, man.
To me, I do really love the melodic aspect of Pantera, and I guess, I'm sad that it's never the same after Far Beyond Driven. To me, it's just as a start to finish record, Vulgar Display of Power is just, to me, a better record.
Rick, hold on. I have a question for Ian. As a lead player, which album do you prefer Dime's leads on?
Vulgar Display of Power. And that's another thing, too. I feel like after Vulgar, Dime definitely goes way more into the kind of just like noisy, sort of atonal. Don't get me wrong, it's sick. Some of the more eerie sounds and whatnot come into play from Far Beyond going forward. But, I like my melody. And I like some of the more outright shreddy stuff. And there is more of that on the earlier records. So, Vulgar.
This is so difficult, man. This is Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels. What a fucking difficult decision. This is Mike Tyson versus Mike Tyson. We have 1 for Far Beyond Driven, 2 for Vulgar Display of Power. Scuzz, you could either give a lifeline or you could cement the champion as far as our eyes go in 90s metal. What's your vote?
Since we realized it was going to be Pantera, I literally have 2 different Google pages open, just going back and forth to the track listing and just like thinking. It's hurting my head. I think about the songs that are kind of throwaways for the majority of the record that I really, really like. Not throwaways, but songs that are a little more obscure. And I kind of put those into perspective and see which record has more of those that I like than the obvious hits. Because I feel like that'll round out my opinion, so to speak.
Scuzz, don't give a decision yet. Tom, how stressed are you right now?
My hands are sweating.
I feel like I can see you sweating.
Legit. The more he talks, the more I'm starting. I'm getting a little clammed up and
Are you
wet.
getting anxious?
A little
insecure?
Well, let Tom make his pick and then Scuzz will decide it.
No, we can't break things, man.
Because I also only have 10%, so it's making this even more difficult.
Well, Scuzz, you could also pass the buck
Scuzz,
here.
Just do it. Just fucking do it, man.
We have 2
right
for
thing.
Vulgar, 1 for Far Beyond Driven.
For me, I feel like there's more monumental moments on Vulgar. Obviously, Walk, fucking Hostile, This Love, Hollow. That shit is so sick. Regular People was one of my favorite songs ever when it came out. But then I go to Far Beyond and I just look at the fucking ball kicking that almost every song fucking does. Yeah, I think I'm going with Far Beyond, man.
Okay, we are tied in the finals. This is the way a main event is supposed to go. We are approaching the 30-minute mark of this WrestleMania main event. 2 votes for Far Beyond Driven, 2 votes for Vulgar Display of Power. This is Pantera versus Pantera. This is Hogan and Warrior at WrestleMania 6. This is Hogan and Rock. This is Austin and Rock. It comes up to bass player Tom Wood. What is your decision?
I'm so incredibly happy. I'm so happy. And I said it from day one. And guess what? Next time you guys see me, well, maybe not next time you guys see me, but next time anybody who listens to this sees me, I'm going to have the drill bit tattooed on the side of my head. Guess what, motherfuckers? It's time. It's finally time. I'm sorry, Mom, but guess what? Far Beyond Driven.
Dude, you know what?
Getting the head tattoo.
Can I do it?
No. Good point. No, I will say this real quick before we go on and like beat our own horns to Far Beyond Driven. I think that the B side of Vulgar is stronger than the A side of. I know that you guys already talked about this, but I think the B side is stronger personally for me, bro. But none of that shit is heavier or better than Far Beyond Driven. Come on, man.
So it is written, so it shall be done. Far Beyond Driven, Shantae, you stay. And Vulgar Display of Power, sashay away. The grand champion, the king of 90s metal, and the Extinction A.D. van, the undisputed crown lays upon the head of Far Beyond Driven by Pantera. Just like that fucking screw is going to be on the side of your head, Tom, I'm going to tattoo it. It's going to be ZZ Top Gun 2. All types of shit. This has been fun. It's been a pain in the ass. It's been something that I do like. Probably never want to do one of these again, but who knows. If anyone is interested, let us know what else you'd like to hear us bicker over. Maybe we'll bring on a guest or something. Make sure you check us out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at Extinction A.D. Hit up our stores on the Unique Leader Records website, nightshiftmerch.com, and stream our new album and old albums on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever the fuck you want. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at Rick as Hell, and let's be friends. Talk about wrestling, baseball, toys, metal, and RuPaul's Drag Race. Pete, where can you be reached?
You can find me at Repeat DTD on Instagrams and the Twitters. Can I ask a really quick question of everyone with no thinking, just right off top of your head?
As.
In honor of our champion, what's your favorite dime solo? Mine's Mouth for War, which is funny that I voted for Far Beyond Driven, but God damn it. It's what Ian said with the melody. That's the one.
Mine's Medicine Man.
That's a great one. Oh, so good.
Shattered.
Floods.
Floods is great too.
I can't even pick one, man.
All types of solos. I don't even know where to start.
Domination.
Cool, man. We didn't have any repeats there. Scuzz, where can you be found on the internet?
On the old Instagram at Charming Scuzz.
The Pickle Man. What was it?
The Pickle Man.
Ian.
You can follow me on my Instagram, which is Ian_B.C._. But you can only follow me when I reactivate my profile.
Why do you delete it?
Because I need time.
Okay.
Wow.
So Far Beyond Driven was the champion. Right now, Tom, I feel like you're the champion. So what is your internet?
Yo, I feel like the champion. I feel so good right now. I'm going to get that head tattoo. I did the Arnie Palmies. You guys, you can find me at tomwood at farbeyonddriven.com. And that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll see you on the road to the next episode of It's Go Time, You Asshole, right here on the XAD YouTube channel. Signing off for Thrashers, Slashers, The Road to WrestleMania. Get dangerous, lift weights, chug a Red Bull, bang your head, and never don't kick ass.
You've been listening to the Stiff Shots Podcast Network. Cool.